Hey everybody, NW Order for Life here with Tokyo Ghoul Episode 10 review. The episode starts off with the 11th Ward branch of the Ghoul investigators getting attacked, all the officers getting killed, and the main branch gets the phone call. The last officer dies on the phone, and then we hear the ghouls on the other end of the phone saying that was the last guy that they killed. Then we go to Anteiku and we see this guy called Banjo is part of one of the groups from the last episode that was heading towards Anteiku to find Rize. And Banjo is like this Yakuza type character, loud mouth, huh, and going and just that obnoxious Yakuza thing that they always do in anime. And he pretty much is like this big mouth character where he's actually kind of weak because he smells Rize on Kaneki and he feels like Kaneki must be her boyfriend or something. So he goes to punch him and attack him, and Kaneki is just like, dodging without much of a care, and he just, like accidentally picks up his head and knocks him out, knocks Banjo out. So Banjo's just kind of like a comedy character, and his little minions with him, whatever, his teammates, they're like these, comedic, like, oh, we follow Banjo-san, but we're weak too kind of characters. So that's the introduction to them. Banjo wakes up, and he basically, apologizes and says, oh, they're good people. Um, by the way, it's only Kaneki and Toka in Anteiku, the manager and what's his name, Tomo, I forget what his name, Yomo. The manager and Yomo are gone, overlooking the city and talking whatever, and so Banjo and his crew, they only meet Toko and Kaneki, and then we see the previous thief kid that stole from Kaneki, took his wallet or whatever. That kid is a special investigator, a dove. He works under investigator Shinohara, which is that guy who walked into the big investigation meeting in this episode with what's his name again? Aola? The young inspector Amori. Yeah, Amori, I think his name is. So he walks in with him or whatever. That's the guy. That's Shinohara, and he has apparently trained that thief kid whose name is Suzuya Juzo, and I'm just going to call him Juzo from now on. And we go back to Anteiku, and I'm in the police meeting. They basically said, the 11th Ward was defeated. Everybody was killed. We gotta, think of a plan to put our lives on the line and go stop those ghouls before it gets out of hand, or before it gets any more out of hand, it's take over other districts. And so then we find out that the other group that was going after Anteiku in last episode, their name is Aogiri Tree. The guy that is known as Jason, the ghoul Jason, he is like the leader of Aogiri Tree. And we see Toka's brother, Ayato. He breaks into the window of Anteiku and, kind of just like kicks Banjo for Banjo being stupid. And Banjo is apparently a subordinate of Ayato and a subordinate of Aogiri Tree. Like, in other words, the Aogiri Tree has taken over the 11th district, and Banjo has no choice but to comply or die. So he's kind of like under them, but you can see that Banjo is clearly not loyal to them. He was, upset that Kaneki was getting beaten up and what they were doing there. And Aogiri Tree basically decides to kidnap Kaneki because he smells like Rize, and they just wreak some havoc in the store. Toka tries to stop them, but her brother kicks the crap out of her, and then when she tries using her Kagune, her brother blocks with his Kagune, and he has two wings, well, she has one, So his Kagane like kind of like flaps its wings, like just spreads out the wings, and as the wings are spreading out, kind of like Archangel from the X-Men, these spike feather like projectiles, similar to what Toka can do with her one wing, pretty much probably the same thing, fly at Toka and they bombard her and they knock her out. But the guy Jason, he beats the crap out of Kaneki, punches punches him in the gut, smashes his face into the table. They show blood splattering on the dishes, on the wall, all over the place, just torturing Kaneki. He impales him too with his Kagane. Jason does. I don't know if it was his Kagane or his name, but Jason impales him. I think it was his Kagane. And Kaneki is like, coughing up blood, and he's got a hole in him and everything like that. So he was really messed up, beaten, battered, and cut up, and all things like that. And they take Kaneki, much to, as you can see, Banjo's, displeasure, because Banjo's just not happy about it. He's just like sitting there with his eyes closed, like why? I'm sorry, I can't do nothing. That kind of a look. And yeah, and so, a pretty good episode. I'll talk right now about the manga comparisons here between Ayato in this episode and Ayato in the manga. So if you don't want to listen to that, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you like more of my videos, and make sure to leave a comment below. Catch you later. Okay, so now if you stayed here to listen to how Ayato is different in the manga or whatever. So in this episode, we have Jason that breaks into Anteiku right after Ayato does, and Jason is like, this nut that, beats up Kaneki and whatnot. In the manga, Ayato, Toka's brother, is the one that beats up everybody. He beats the crap out of Kaneki, to the point where Kaneki is completely outclassed. Not as brutal as what Jason did in this episode. He beats him, kicks him, stomps him, punches him, things like that, if I remember correctly. But I don't think he impales him with the Kagane. I don't think that happened in the manga. But I could be wrong, because I'm not 100% sure. But I know for a fact that Ayato was the one that cruelly beat down. Kaneki, and he comes off in the manga as like this ruthless individual that will do anything that it takes to to get his aims accomplished, And Toka, much like in the episode, Toka's like, you're screwed up in the head, like, what do you think you're doing? And he's like, no, it's you're the one that's screwed up, and because you're just an idiot that's addicted to peace, just like our stupid parents, and you'll die just like them. So he's got like, resentment, anger at his parents for dying, and he feels like his sister is going to follow the same path. And he comes off as not caring in the manga. Like, who gives a shit? I'm a new person. This is who I am. I'm going to kill everybody. I'm going to beat up anybody who gets in my way. And he's a badass, right? But in this episode, Jason is put there. And Jason isn't supposed to be introduced until when Ayato takes Kaneki to Jason. In the manga, Ayato takes Kaneki to Jason, and Jason does, spoilers, not going to say anything. But in this episode, it was Jason who was there. And, in previous episodes, all the ones featuring Jason, including the very first episode where he had a skirmish with Rize, that just doesn't happen in the manga. Jason doesn't get introduced until Ayato brings Kaneki there. So, again, don't want to repeat myself any longer, but that was a big change. Is it a big deal? I guess not, if they wanted to flesh out Jason's character more, but that's the difference from the manga to the anime. But I do feel like it was bad for Ayato's character, because in this episode, you see like Ayato grimacing about like what Jason is doing. Like when Jason is beating up Kaneki that way, or when Toka is going after Jason, you kind of see Ayato like, oh, like he doesn't want it to happen. So it's removing the badassery of Ayato, removing the initial perception that this guy is evil, this guy is psycho, ruthless. Like, this anime really did damage his character in that way. So that's my comments on that. The only other comment I have is about Juzo. Juzo, I think, is being portrayed as pretty psychopathic, which is what he should be portrayed as. And so far, the anime is doing a good job with him. And yeah, you know, crazy white-haired 17-year-old or whatever he is, and he's nuts. And you know, can't wait to see more of how the anime makes him nuts. They haven't changed him so far from the manga, so everything's pretty good with that. But yeah, that's my review for Tokyo Ghoul episode 10. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Be sure to rate, comment below, and subscribe to my channel for more videos of Tokyo Ghoul in the future and other anime and manga titles. Thanks again. Have a great day.